arrowhead, burdock, cattail. Seems we might have this. People use this for bouquets of flowers.
Oh, is that can eat?
I guess so. You want to check?
Yeah. When I was kid, really like I really like that plant.
It's pretty, right?
Yeah, and I wanted to keep or find, but difficult to find around my neighborhood. But around the farm, there are many.
We can eat them.
Yeah, please cook for me.
Cattail pancakes, cattail cornbread, cattail batter bread, sunshine cake, breadsticks, poppy seed biscuits, pepper and anchovy salad, soup, fettuccine, wild green salad, pudding. Pickles. The cattail, a perennial aquatic plant, is the most widely known wild vegetable of the northern hemisphere. See? This one. Throughout much of the United States, the plant grows in shallow water of marshes, streams, and along the margins of lakes and ponds. It is scattered throughout the central Rocky Mountain area, usually below 8,000 feet. That's much lower than where we are right now. We're at about 11,000. Cattail also thrives in parts of Europe and Asia. The thick underground root stalks of the cattail yield a flower which contains approximately 80% carbohydrate and about 7% protein. 1 acre of cattails could yield, are you ready? As much as 6,000 pounds of flour. The roots grow 3 to 4 inches below the soil surface and can be harvested from autumn and through until early spring, though the roots are richer in starch during autumn. One must be prepared to get wet feet when harvesting cattail roots. A small spade is sufficient to dislodge the rope-like roots, which will vary from 1/2 to 1 inch in diameter. Since geese and muskrats forage on the roots as well, caution should be applied in harvesting only what is needed. Share what you got, folks. Once gathered, cattail roots should be rinsed and scrubbed to remove mud. Flour can be prepared by drying the scrubbed roots, pulverizing the core, and sifting out the fibers. For immediate use, the roots can be peeled, submerged in a shallow, wide container of water, and crushed. The starch settles to the bottom, while the lighter root fibers float to the top. The fibers can then be strained off using several changes of water. The flour can be used in its wet state or dried for later use. In late winter to early spring, enlarged areas at the leading ends of the roots can be cut. These form the sprout of the next season's leaves and can have a starchy core, which is excellent eaten raw or cooked. When the sprouts form, they can be gathered and used as a cooked vegetable or pickled. Young leaves emerging from the sprout are collected when they are 1 to 2 feet high. Pull upward on the cluster of young leaves. The stems will easily break free of the roots. Peel the leaves away to expose the crisp, green-colored core. The core can be eaten raw, used in a salad, or steamed with for 25 to 30 minutes. The flour is commonly used in Russia as a cooked vegetable, hence the name Cossack asparagus. Did you know that? The young shoots are more prevalent in the spring, but can be found in sufficient numbers throughout the summer and autumn. The flower spike extends upward through the cluster of tape-like leaves, which lightly sheathe the stalk at the base. The spike often reaches 7 feet in height and forms a sausage-shaped flower at the top. The immature flower is green, turning brown as it matures. The immature flower spikes can be eaten as a cooked vegetable. Remove their paper-like husks, boil in salted water for a few minutes, and nibble the green flowers from the core as one would corn from a cob. The flower spikes reach maturity over a 6-week period. The male part of the flower forms at the tip of the spike. This is the pollen-producing part of the plant, of course. The loose yellow pollen forms in early autumn. A large amount of pollen may be collected by shaking the pollen spikes into a plastic bag. This protein-rich pollen can be mixed with flour and made into baked goods. Pollen is best stored in a covered container in the refrigerator for up to 1 month, or placed in the freezer and stored in the freezer for 8 months. The people of Bombay harvest cattail pollen for bread making. The cattail has non-food uses as well. Native Americans use the leaves as a source of rush material for sandals, baskets, chairs, and mats. The leaves are 1/4 to 1 inch wide and taper gradually to a point. They are collected while still green and hung in bundles to dry. The dried bundles are then soaked in water until soft. When the flower heads ripen, soft, cottony seeds are formed. Native Americans use the down for padding their cradle boards. Pioneers use the down for filling pillows and quilts. The down is also useful as insulation in footwear to save off frostbite and as tinder for starting campfires. Pioneer use of cattail also included using pounded roots mixed with animal fat as a salve for dressing burns. One more thing. To dry cattail roots, gather the roots from fall to early spring. Scrub roots and arrange in a single layer on a fine screen. Place in the sun to dry, turning frequently. Put the greens in a dry place at night. Sun drying takes up to 7 days. Roots may also be dried in a dehydrator. Roots can then be stored in a dry place until needed. Grind roots in a food processor, flour mill, or place in a pillowcase and pound with a hammer or a stone. Sift fiber from starchy flour before using. Thank you.